This episode of the BlockHash Podcast is brought to you by SumSub, the leading full-cycle verification platform built specifically for the crypto industry. Trusted by 8 out of the 10 biggest global exchanges, SumSub helps vast exchanges and DeFi platforms prevent fraud, stay compliant, and scale globally, all without slowing down user onboarding. With instant KYC and KYB automated crypto transaction monitoring and full travel rule compliance across a network of more than 1,800 VASPs. SumSub adapts fast to evolving threats and regulations. They verify over 14,000 document types worldwide and onboard users in under 20 seconds, achieving conversion rates up to 95% plus in key markets. If you want secure growth and a frictionless onboarding experience for your users, visit sumsub.com to learn more. Following is a paid ad by Public Investing. If you're a crypto trader, you know the tax bill can sneak up on you. Every time you take a profit or rebalance your portfolio, you're creating another taxable event. Over time, that drag makes it really difficult to build long-term wealth. So I changed my approach and I moved my crypto investing to Public. They offer something that really changes the equation. The fact that you can trade crypto directly inside of an IRA. That means you can move in and out of positions without triggering capital gains taxes on every single trade. It gives you the flexibility to actively manage your portfolio while still thinking long-term. And the experience isn't watered down. You can trade Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, the whole works. On top of it all, you get 24/7 trading, advanced charting, and recurring buys. If you're planning to hold crypto for the long haul, do it inside an IRA on Public. It makes a lot of sense. Plus, you get 1% for your IRA contributions. Get started now on public.com/blockhash. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the BlockHash Podcast, #1 resource for all that is happening across the emerging tech space. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe wherever you listen to or watch the show. Today, I'm joined by another wonderful guest, Chi, co-founder and CEO of Kite, which is building the base layer for the Agentic internet. Chi, welcome to the show. Pleasure to have you on. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks for inviting me, Brandon.
Likewise. Excited to have you on and to learn more about Kite. And before we do, maybe give us a little bit of background on yourself and how you kind of found interest in both the Web3 and Agentic AI space, and what's your story been like?
Sounds great. So I come from the AI and big data background. So before I started Kite, I did my PhD at UC Berkeley, focused on machine learning and causal inference. And after that, I was a founding member of a prior Gen AI startup that is focused on automated machine learning platform, which at the time we're already implementing the concept of helping we call citizen data scientists or citizen machine learning scientists to implement and train the AI models autonomously without learning too much of the domain knowledge there. And after that, I was leading product management at a data infra company called Databricks. Right now, also probably one of the most important infrastructure companies in the AI world for their data engineering solutions. And I got into crypto or Web3 industry about 4 years ago, which in the very beginning, it's kind of not planned entry. It's more like I was building the previous company called Zeta Block, which at the time is a modern data infrastructure company. And around 2022, we got so many inbound from the crypto industry, especially from Solana community, about how they can have a better infrastructure to handle high throughput blockchains like Solana that generates tons of data. So that is how I got into crypto, and obviously over the last few years learned so much about this industry, from the underlying blockchain technology and the ethos to the primitives on top of the blockchain tech, such as stablecoin and all the benefits that they can help the financial and payment industry for. So that's why it's actually inspired us to build Kite.
Excellent. Anything in particular part of that inspired you guys to build Kite? And then also, what is maybe your guys' core mission? What are some of the things that you guys are working on?
Sounds great. So one line description about Kite is we're building the payment infrastructure for agent native internet. And the very original story of Kite is about 2 years ago. That is where the AI industry start experimenting the browser-based agents to do work on behalf of human. That's represent them to click through the Chrome browser to help them book stuff. So that's why you probably heard companies like a browser-based or like a ChatGPT OpenAI operator. And at the time, we observed that when AI is helping human to go through like Yelp booking or like some other booking systems, they need to put in some payment method. And usually, if you are human, you will do credit card. And then there's a problem when people are thinking that giving their AI or agents their credit card information for two reasons. One, obviously, for privacy reason, and second is even they willing to give it a try. A lot of times they run into the transaction failure issues because a lot of times when agent is representing human on the website, it will be considered by the credit card company as a bot that's planning to like do something there. Then automatically that trigger the fraud detection mechanism, and then they will decline the transactions. Actually, what we learned at the time from the user interviews is there's about like 40 over 40% of the chance to fail the transaction if you are giving an agent credit card. So that is where it inspired us to look into like what other options that potentially can do. And obviously, with all the learnings that we had from crypto industry is stablecoin, which we consider that is actually such a lightning moment to us that this is in some way a lucky time to crypto and the stablecoin players now that this is a very agent native primitive that they can use as programmable money. So that is how we are thinking, then how can we make this happen to give agents their native, like true programmable solutions to handle the financial needs, including payment. So that's why we start digging into a stablecoin based solution. And obviously, then the more we dig in, the more we have been thinking, is the existing infrastructure good enough, aka the existing blockchain is good enough to handle agentic transactions based on its volume, based on its other primitives needs such as like identity, governance, and all the stuff. And then that's come to Kite. We realize maybe the best way to approach this is to start from a fundamentally ground up solution that is a purpose built settlement infrastructure that is not only optimized for the traffic volume and everything that agent needs, but also has a lot of customized primitives, again, including the agent identity and authorization delegation piece into this infrastructure.
Absolutely. I want to expand upon this a little bit more as well. The agentic economy is growing super fast, and it feels like it kind of came out of nowhere and it's touching all these different areas of different industries. And there's this growing view that the agentic economy is being held back by weak infrastructure, which you kind of alluded to already. How does Kite remove some of those bottlenecks and make autonomous, secure transactions like actually viable in the real world today?
Very good question. So first of all, one thing I want to point out, which actually is again a lot of the lessons we learned along the way by working with customers and like working with payment and AI companies is if we're talking about agent payment, payment actually in some ways is a very long flow. It's a very complex ecosystem that has so many players that involved. So usually when people are thinking about payments, it's more like, oh, now we settle our transaction on Ethereum or on Base, or now like Temple, Stripe launched the solution. It's already kind of the last step of the entire like agentic payment flow. So if you think about a simple scenario like ask your agent to find a birthday gift to your mom. In that case, the very first step for the agent is to know like what's your high level like requirements, right? You describe it to your mom, so that's already one of the intent they can extract and interpret that to okay, now what type of gift that mom will like, and ideally you can even like say, oh, how old is your mom and what's your budget and all this stuff. So the first thing is the agent need to interpret the intent from your description about this task. And then the second step is now you have a high level understanding about what this gift scope look like. They need to go out to search for that. Then that is about the product discoverability. That's the agent need to have the capability to go to search across, like say many website that or like many product catalog list that has a good enough schema that they can then match the intent that they extract from the human prompt to the catalog details, that's the product details listed in that catalog, and then they do a match and they're like, okay, this is a good match. Then I give you the top 3 list items, and you select. Then the selection piece is for human to select is interesting. They can either for human they can either make it fully autonomous. Like in the very beginning, I authorize this workflow or like payment session to say, as long as it's matched my the intent I give to you, you just pick up the first one. Don't ask me again and just go. Or you can say, okay, human in the loop to say, okay, now I have 5 or 3 options to you, and you choose one based on your preference, and then I will authorize and go ahead to proceed this checkout. So what does that mean is there's so many steps prior to like the final payment settlement to be solved in order for agentic, especially autonomous agentic payments to happen. So then you can think of in those process, what is the potential blockers that is being held by weak infrastructure, so that we cannot have such a smooth experience. And in this case, one of the things that Kite is focusing a lot. So right now we're focusing on identity piece that we really think that will be able to help us to do like the delegation and authorization well for agents. And of course, there's other pieces like mentioned the discoverability piece. That's we're partner with other infra partners to potentially solve that end-to-end experience. And then among the identity, within the identity scope, there's a bunch of things that obviously that we need to do. So one, as I mentioned, that the agents need to. So one is the agent have a verifiable identity, so that if something went wrong, we know who to trace back to, and we know like, oh, this is the agent. And if the agent is calling another agent, that means the other agents also need to have the verifiable identity if we need to do some accountability ritual in that case. And of course, the second piece is delegation, because again, the most simple thing or flow for agentic payments nowadays we can think of is human is giving agents a shopping order to tell ChatGPT, say, just buy me some water on Amazon. Then the agent will call Amazon and just settle that payment. But this is a very, very simple delegation. Think about in the future, this agent might need to call other 5 agents and the 3 like APIs and 1 like platform to get things down. Then how do we handle the delegation across those lines is something that we think this broader identity system need to be taken care of. And obviously the governance piece that you add spending limits or like other type of limits on top of the flow is very important. So that is essentially like how we are basically focusing on Kite Passport to cover the identity and the authorization piece.
Time for a quick shout out to today's sponsor, SumSub. Crypto is global, fast moving, and full of emerging threats. You need a verification partner that moves even faster. SumSub combines blockchain intelligence, identity verification, and behavioral fraud detection into one powerful platform. You can screen score and monitor users at every step. Their AI-powered system detects anomalies, account takeovers, and illicit wallet activity before transactions hit the blockchain, giving your compliance team superpowers. Trusted by 4,000 plus clients across fintech and crypto, SumSub helps organizations expand into new markets with confidence while maintaining full compliance with global regulations. Whether you're scaling an exchange, launching a DeFi product, or securing a Web3 community, SumSub has you covered. Check them out at sumsub.com. Another message from our sponsor, Public. For all the crypto traders out there, you know taxes can sneak up on you. Every profit, every rebalance of your portfolio, you're creating another taxable event. It makes it really difficult to build long-term wealth. This is why I changed my approach and I moved my crypto investing to Public. In particular, their ability to let you trade crypto inside of an IRA, which is unbelievable. Being able to move your crypto in and out of positions without triggering capital gains is a massive advantage. Gives you the flexibility to manage your crypto portfolio while still thinking long-term at the same time. No one wants a watered-down experience. You can trade Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, the whole gamut. 24/7 trading, advanced charting, recurring buys, you name it. It just makes a lot of sense, guys. Plus, you get 1% for your IRA contributions. So get started today. Go to public.com/BlockHash. Got it. What do you think changes? Let me ask you this. From an economic perspective, it's very different. Like when I talk to people about the agentic economy and the agentic network that's going to be built out with all these agents interacting with each other and how it's going to be able to transact on behalf of us and take care of the minutia in society that we don't necessarily should be focusing on, like maybe, sourcing the best discounts for getting groceries at a certain grocery store we like to go to, or buying our monthly items we need for the house, or planning for a trip we want to take over the summer, whatever it may be, or planning gifts for the holidays. Some of these things become very minute and not necessarily important to think about all the time. And agents will be amazing in terms of categorizing and taking care of these things for us. But what does that mean for like us? Like when that economy becomes a reality, which it seems like it's starting to happen already, what does that change from an economic perspective in terms of how commerce interacts with each other? So if it's not you and I interacting as often over, whether it's in person or over the internet or for whatever it may be, a service or an item, and it's two agents interacting, how does that dynamic change economically?
First of all, I think from overall like a social or like society economy perspective, I felt it's actually will be more efficient, which means it's actually in some way will be better. That is, of course, not considering the human part that we also need to take care of. Because in general, I felt the reason why DeFi in the first place that can take off. One of the reasons I strongly felt the benefits is the quicker, like the more efficient liquidity that you can access, and also like obviously that's why stablecoin is like being considered as a great solution to enterprises who felt their liquidity has been trapped too long, especially when it comes to cross-border transactions. So that's why when agents are doing the work on behalf of organizations or individuals, then because they don't need to rest, that they are doing this 24/7. So if there's anything for us, like if we go out to source for discount of like a hotel or like a gift that we want to purchase for our family, we're probably going to do that at most like a daily basis, like at least a few hours basis. But if you're agents now, you can literally do that in real time. So that means there's less likely to have this like price discrimination in some way. So that means it's in general, I think the financial system or the economy system become more efficient. So that is how I see the benefits of having agent to agent economy that started picking up and happening. Then on the other side, then we need to think about human. So what does that mean then? If agent is doing all the this type of work to without human in the loop, then how would the human feel or like benefit or not benefit from this system? And that is where I felt it's honestly a very complex topic, and I think a lot of things are still unknown. But in general, what I felt is I would strongly encourage as an individual or like human, no matter technical or non-technical, because it's because now agents become like more friendly as just using language, English or other language to interact with. You should become someone who really like who can really like command agents to do things for you. So that means that whatever things that you are you used to do like with a more manual way, now you should be by default thinking that at least like to me my philosophy is if I have to repeat that 3 times by myself, then I probably want to then consider how I can more automate that with agents. Then what I can unleash is my time and my creativity on like what is the other stuff like the more like unsolved things that now I can spend my time. Probably because I'm as an entrepreneur or like founder, I think my job is to actually find an unmet or underserved the demand for my customers, so then I can provide a solution for them. But the key here is I felt if you are a human who then can think about, oh, agent is more like your teammates or even like your employee, that you can have unlimited employee to work for you, and to then you use your brand to solve the new ideas or like unmet needs. Then I think that will work for your benefits. Otherwise, I felt then the more efficient this economy become, but you're not like part of that, then it might work against your interest. So I think that is how I would think from human perspective. But in general, I felt if we just consider purely from social economy perspective, I felt it will be more efficient and better.
What sectors do you think stand to benefit the most, whether it's commerce, finance, logistics, sports, entertainment? I'm sure it'll have an impact on all of these things, but where do you see the initial interest and maybe the biggest use cases coming first?
Very good question. I felt my observation or like my hypothesis has been changed a lot since a year ago. I felt last year, literally 1 year ago, we launched our first demo use case about uh, ordering Uber Eats using agent. So then, if we're talking about that, that is more, I would say, commerce related use case, or like helping you to order, something on Amazon, on Shopify. Actually, Shopify is one of the first platform we support as well. And at that time, we have huge hope to agent commerce. Nowadays, I wouldn't say we don't have hope or we are not thinking that will be super important and transformative as experience. But we felt compared to commerce, there are probably some more intermediate like or near term use cases that can be solved by agentic economy or like agentic payment. So that actually is more to me on the API economy. So that means for developers, if you are an agent builder or like no matter it's a SMB or an enterprise, you're building some agents to do, let's say, marketing campaign automation for you. Then in this case, you would be consider that you would consider the agent need to use a bunch of list of APIs to automate this process. You need to use Twilio API for email notification, for example, and then or other Proclude for SMS tax API needs, and bunch of those. Then that is actually where then you can actually really make agent to pay that in even like real time, pay per call type of use case that is very agent native and it's an emerging market. And ultimately, if we're saying the whole world will be run or like have more agents than human, then the whole world need to be API accessible because that is how agents is working with each other and interacting with each other. So from that perspective, I felt those type of use cases will be more kind of like the first batch of use cases that's being transformed by agent economy or like an agent payment, or at least the first adopter of those things. Then I think the use cases that agent like the e-commerce or like entertainment, those type of scenarios, I felt it will be then come later. And of course, there are some then also some use cases that when you say, oh, agent financial use cases, and that can be agent trading use case, that can be financial operations use case. That's then you break it down to, is that to consumer or is that to enterprise? I felt each of them have a different like stage at the moment, but in general, if I summarize my thoughts, I felt the adoption order will be coming from developer related use case to enterprise related use case to consumer related use case. That is what I felt the order of the adoption will happen with the current observation compared to 1 year ago, which actually 1 year ago I felt it's the opposite. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's changing all the time too. So I imagine there'll be tons of different use cases a year from today. What's on the horizon for you guys this year? I know that you mentioned mainnet. What do you want to share?
Yeah, to the audience, we just launched our mainnet and the Kite Passport, which is the agent passport solutions, about 3 weeks ago. And nowadays, you actually can go to our website, which is gokite.ai, to look at the latest release and even try all the solutions that, from the mainnet to the agent passport. And actually, agent passport itself has its own website called agentpassport.ai. There's a very detailed instruction about how you can install and use the solution. And then that can help you to now shop on Amazon, hunt for an apartment if you want to move to SF or like some other cities, and if you want to build again, as I mentioned earlier, a marketing campaign automation agents, and they need those bunch of API solutions that you need to access and manage the API key and payments and everything for you, then go check it out in our Passport marketplace and catalog. There's a list of solutions and services that you can access and use.
Excellent. Are you guys going to be at any events or conferences this year?
Yeah, there's gonna be a few of them. Obviously the big Web3 conferences Token 2049 or KPW, and next week the Proof of Talk. It's all the conferences will be, and also will be in some of the big fintech conferences like Money 2020. And also some AI conferences later this year as well. So find us with the Kite logo in those conferences. And follow our social media. We will post our footprint there as well.
Excellent. Well, yeah, if you're at Money 2020 or some of these events here in the States, definitely let me know. We can probably meet up and do a part 2 on Kite as well in person for an episode. It'd be pretty cool.
That's would be great.
Absolutely. And then again, where's the best places to keep up with everything? Website, socials? Do you guys have a blog as well, or a newsletter, or where can people consume everything?
I think definitely the best one is just to follow our Twitter account. So that is also, I think, GoKite AI as the Twitter handle, because most of the events and product feature release, which probably moving forward, starting from this next month, you will see tons of feature release that we're pushing, given that now our main app is out, and there's going to be a lot more use cases that we will share to the community so that they probably can think of and inspire them to think about, oh, what other things now I can use agent to do, especially when it comes to I need agent to pay for something for me. But social media as Twitter is going to be the best place.
Excellent. Well, Chi, I appreciate the time. It's been great learning about what you guys are doing with Kite and kind of building out this base for the agentic internet that's coming super fast. It's mind-boggling how quickly it's catching fire and how everyone's jumping into it. So wishing you guys the best of luck in building out infrastructure around it, and keep me updated, and hopefully we'll meet up at one of these events later this year and have a chance to talk a bit more, but appreciate it.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Really appreciate the thing by as well.